Hey, you're way back there. Hey guys, today I decided I want to install this President George into my car. Well, the problem is that President George is too big to fit in the dash, and I don't want to bury that inside the dash. So I was thinking about it, and I thought, what if I put it up here? And I thought, you know, that would work pretty good. And if I put it up there, well, then that one can still stay in temporarily. So the more I was thinking about it, if you can see, where is it? Right here. Can you see that? There's a union in my antenna cable for testing purposes. And as you see, there's a power jack right here too. Can you see that? Alright, well, what I decided to do is, seeing how I already have all this stuff in here, I can reroute this power cord and this union and send it over here. Well, if we're going to have both radios mounted in here, why don't we put one of these in? So I was thinking about putting an antenna switch box in here somewhere. And that way, instead of switching antennas, it'll switch radios. And I can do a test and see which one receives better and which one sounds better over the air, just by flipping the switch and going from one radio to the other. What do you think? You want to give it a try? Alright, let's have at it. Alright, I have most of the stuff here that I need. The only thing I think I forgot was something to mark where my holes are going to go. Let's see, I have a pencil down here. Let's see if I can mark that bracket. I've already put the bracket up in place there. Oh, I have to take those screws out first. I used to have an amplifier mounted up here, but the amplifier and that radio that's in the dash just did not play well together. That radio in the dash was putting out a little too much power for the amplifier. So I pulled that out of here, and I've been running just the radio, because that radio will do about 20 watts on sideband. Ooh, that one was tight. Alright, let's get these out of the way. And what I'm going to need to do is, this bracket needs to get mounted like this. And, oh, somewhere right about there. So, I'm wiggling it all over the place. That's one mark. I am going to actually get it to a weird position here so that I can mark this properly. I want to make sure the radio is going to fit between those brackets for the visors. And I'm going to put it right in the middle so that I have a little bit of wiggle room to move this back and forth. And I have my handy dandy drill. And another one over here. That's too low. We have our pilot holes. Now I'm just going to take the screw and force it into those pilot holes before putting the bracket up. Wow. Oh, I should have brought out the impact driver. You know what? I think I'm going to go get it. Whoa. Pilot hole still isn't big enough. There we go. Get that bracket right where it wants to be. Looks good and secure to me. Alright, now we need to fish over these wires that are up here on the roof. And I didn't bring out any cutters. But right behind me here is a tool bag. I'll bet you I can't see in it though. I'm being blinded by the light that's coming in the window. Well, I guess a pair of pliers will do. It's just a zip tie. They did very well. Alright, one thing I forgot though was a jumper, a coax jumper to put on the switch box. I still haven't figured out where I'm going to put the switch box yet. If I put it here, the visor is going to be in the way. Where, oh where am I going to put it? Not easy drilling into a rounded piece of metal. That drill bit wanted to walk all over the place. Now, if I put a little screw in here, and I still forgot my coax jumper for the President radio. Yeah, I know that one's only into the plastic, but the one into the metal will hold it well enough. This one's just to give it some stability. Oh, that's a thing of beauty. Well, we can hook up the first radio to it. Actually, I can get rid of that union now too. We're gonna call the one in the dash channel A. Gotta line up those little points. Must not be much on that coax connector because it keeps trying to walk around. Oh, there we go, it locked in now. Alright, we can get that coax out of the way. Like I said, out of the way, it keeps popping back out on me. I brought two jumpers out because I want to see. Oh yeah, the hefty one will make it. It's gonna be tough because this thing's gonna want to curl all over the place. Maybe I ought to turn that switch box around, huh? I think we're gonna do that. Because then that big hefty jumper will work for me. Because that other jumper is just gonna be too long. Let's spin this thing around. The antenna should still hook up without any issues. Looks pretty good to me. Alright, let's say we get this radio in place. Let's get our power lead hooked up to it and get the antenna connected to it. The radio's gonna come to life. Watch, see that? Code! It wants me to install the code. Now, oh, that's gonna be up there a ways. Yeah, I'll stay with one, right? Sure. Well, my cardboard, my sun blocker is getting in the way. Let's just fold that corner over. We have a little more room here. Well, now that's pointing a lot further up than I was expecting. I may have some trouble seeing that display. I wonder how well it would hold with just the two back ones. Because if I take the two front ones out, then this thing can drop down further. Show you what I'm talking about. Alright, the two front ones are out. Let's loosen up those two back ones. Drop that thing down. Oh, what do you think? That's a lot better, isn't it? Now I can secure my power cable in place. I'm going to get some zip ties to put around those clips. I should probably get some electrical tape and tape that up better. I have wire nuts in there, and it's just some duct tape wrapped around just so nothing gets tugged on. Looking pretty good, don't you think? Now if we take this, will this make it? Oh no, it won't make it. Oh, that's a bummer. Maybe it will. Yes, it will. We just gotta be smart about the routing, that's all. It makes it just fine. Don't do this at home, boys and girls. Alright, now we need the antenna wire, which is gonna go. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Save that union for the next project. Let's put our antenna in here. Don't do this at home. They're good and tight now. Alright, now let's take, let's see, will that cord, oh, it will tuck in there. Double jacketed, so I'm not worried. Alright, let me dig out a few zip ties. Do I have any in here? Of course not. Let me dig out a few zip ties, zip tie that in place, and we should be good to go. Right? And there's the code. 3 times on the program button. We're on B. We have activity. Unfortunately, this has to hang on this side. Oh, by the way, I did away with the original mic. The original mic was a big clunky stock mic. And I had a nice realistic power mic. So I wired it for the 6-pin and put the realistic on there. And from what I've been told on the air, this sounds a lot better than the stock mic. What's left to do? Oh, zip tie that. I keep saying that and haven't done it yet. Looks pretty good to me. Visor will clip in, it'll go up. My switch box is right here. Let's put some power to the car, make that radio come on. So, we are on this one. And if we switch it, that one goes noisy. Can you hear the difference? Neither one of them showing any kind of noise level. Which is kind of weird because I usually have some noise coming from the garage. Must be my wife's shop that makes all the noise. She's not home right now. So I can blame it on her. Oh, that's just a thing of beauty, isn't it? I'll put some tape on this. Secure it up to the roof. Back on that one. This one is fed directly to the battery. This one's a 50-watt radio. So, I'm going to give that one a little more power. That one's on a 20-amp circuit. And that goes directly to the battery. And I have a fuse on both positive and negative at the battery. Alright, I need to find a microphone hanger to mount on the side of this radio. Which that, I'll have to lift the microphone to put the visor down. That's alright. We can deal with that, right? Yes, we can. Alright, I'm going to get all these tools out of here too. Because I don't need, well, those stay here, those stay here. I don't need any of this out here anymore. And the jumper cable that I didn't use because this one worked perfect. Okay, so I found a mic hanger and mounted it on the side of the radio. So now I'm going to bring you up close and give you a peek at this President George and show you what we'll be working with. Okay, so this is the President George. It was originally a 10-meter radio, but it's been reprogrammed to do the CB band. This has a lot of cool features to it. You can see, where am I pointing that camera? I can't really see the screen on this camera, but you see it has echo, it has Roger beep, it has adjustable output power, it has a built-in SWR meter, memory channels, high cut noise blanker, PA, and the DC changes the color of the screen. It's green and orange. Those are your two choices. But it's a pretty nice radio, and 50 watts output on sideband, 40 watts on AM. So it ought to work pretty well here in the car. Now I am going to end up with just this one, most likely, depending on how the test comes out. But my plan is to have this as the primary radio in the car, so that I can put a stereo back in there. Try and block that sun that's coming in. I want to pull that one out of there and actually put a stereo back in here. My wife misses the music the most. Me, I just like listening to the sound of the car while driving. But she wants music. So, happy wife, happy life, you know? Alright, we're going to get to the test next. And my wonderful wife, Barbara, is going to help us out with the test. And she'll be running my unit in Washington in the house. Alright, let's get to that testing. Okay, Barbara, I am 10 miles away from you. I am across from yet another church. The camera can probably see that church right through the windshield. Right now, we are on the President George, and its power is turned all the way up. Full blast, all it can do.
Okay, Barbara, I am 10 miles away from you. I am across from yet another church. The camera can probably see that church right through the windshield. Right now, we are on the President George, and its power is turned all the way up. Full blast, all it can do.
And it's sounding really good on this end. You're loud and clear, very clear, and your voice sounds the way it should. So perfect. It sounded wonderful.
Alright, that's fantastic to hear. Alright, we got a little test here now from the George. I'm going to flip this antenna switch and turn on the realistic, and we're going to do a little comparison and see how that one sounds compared to this one. Guess she's not going to talk back to us. Flip the switch up here. Now we're on the realistic.
I'm on there, Barbara. You got a copy on this realistic TRC 451 over.
Yes, I do. It's not quite as loud as the George, as the President George was. It's a little more muffled, actually, so I'm not getting as strong of a signal from you on the realistic.
So it looks like the President George is going to stay right where it is. And we're having trouble with this camera because I don't have the cardboard on the windshield anymore. And even though it's kind of cloudy out there, my white garage is right in front of the car. See it? So any daylight that comes in just really lights it up in here and messes with the camera. Receive seemed to be about the same on the two radios, but this one was way better on transmit. The realistic sounded a little off frequency. This one sounded right on, and it had a stronger signal, full dB stronger signal. So that one is going to stay right where it's at. And a stereo is actually going to go back in my dash, because I can now take that radio out of here. So that's it. The George is in its new home. This is where it's going to live. The previous owner of this radio had told me that the receive was low on it, but it turns out it's not the receive that was low, it was just the meter. I had to open the radio up and adjust the meter inside the radio. Signals that were supposed to be about a 9 dB. I have a bunch of locals that I know what they give me for signal strength. This radio was showing 1 dB. So I adjusted that meter the best I could using them as reference points. And I think it's working pretty well now. Alright guys, that's it. This is my project of the week. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.